Hi, today I want to tell you about the fictional world I'm building. I call it Spelanoia. But why create a world in the first place, right? Well, I always gravitated toward fairy tales and stories that combine real world with mystical phenomena, probably not without some element of science fiction too. For that reason, some of my favorite writers are Stephen King, Brothers Strugatsky, Bulgakov. I love shows like Twin Peaks, Stranger Things, Severance. Now, this really brings me to tip number one. Identify what existing creators inspire you. Who do you look up to? Whose worlds you want to be immersed into yourself? Okay, so now I know who I love and follow, but I'm not a writer and I'm not in film industry. My passion is beadwork and embroidery. So what do I do with that? Well, long story short, I realized that through my artworks, I can also build my own fictional world with its own lore, characters, plotline, mythology. And there are examples of visual artists who have done that. For example, Simon Stalenhag, who turned his digital art he was posting on Instagram into books, game, TV show, and even a Hollywood movie. Now, once I decided that I want to move forward with world building, I got to work. I have pages of sketchbook and diary filled with notes and ideas. I talked to AI to organize those thoughts. I created mood boards on Pinterest, and of course, bounced ideas off of my husband and my closest friends, even my kids. Now, eventually, the biggest anchor for my world ended up being the fact that I already had a certain aesthetic that I have chosen for myself. I'd like to think that it's a unique and recognizable style. Trust me, it took me years to develop it and land on something that I love and feels like my own, and I can make a separate video on kind of finding your own style. Mine is A, the technique is embroidery on canvas, and B, the aesthetic is bright colors, glass and crystal on pitch black background. Kind of like this course right here, right? Pitch black background, kind of 3D embroidery with mixed materials, glass, crystals, beads, all those different things. Now this brings me to tip number two. Draw from your own visual style as an artist. The world you're building will be slightly different depending on whether you gravitate to bold, big colors and abstracts or earthy, muted tones. But back to Spelanoia. Like I said, my launching point was the style I love. And then I got to thinking what kind of story could be told with most imagery being on a black background. I talked to AI about it and to friends and family, and there were ideas like the stories on the backside of the moon, or the stories in tunnels of Mars where a human built the first colony, or it's in a spaceship on a long multi-year journey. But I actually ended up thinking of the idea myself, which was a deep cave system. There was an article a few years back in National Geographic on a deep cave system, and it said that they believe it goes even deeper than what's been reached by humans, and that there are several of these incredibly deep and complex cave systems around the world, and they're largely unexplored. And there's something very mysterious about that, isn't it? Like, what discoveries await us in those depths? What are we going to find? Who might live there? You know, they find life forms in the deepest and most inhospitable parts of the planet. I was also really intrigued by the story of Derinkuyu tunnels, where people have clearly lived for an extended period of time. They find signs of cooking, sleeping, performing everyday tasks there. Scientists and historians have some theories of why people dug them and lived there, but it still remains mostly a mystery. So I decided that my fictional world is going to be set in the depths of a vast cave system. And that brings me to tip number three. Rely on your own knowledge and inspirations, not AI or tutorials. As I was doing this, I specifically didn't want to look up videos or tutorials on world building or character design, because I didn't want to be influenced by other people's ideas. I wanted to see how far I can get with my own imagination and inspirations that I draw from my existing set of favorite folklore, arts, and creators. And so far it's going well. Now, having said that, as you can see, this video is definitely not meant to be a lesson on world building, but rather my personal story about it and what worked for me. Now back to Spelanoia. Now I had a style and aesthetic, I had the setting, now I needed a name. This one I definitely collaborated with AI on because I needed ideas of words from different languages that I can play around with. And I landed on Spelanoia, which is constructed from two ancient Greek words. I might butcher it, so I apologize. Spelaion means cave or grotto, and nous means mind or intellect. As for characters, I will leave them till part 2 on building a fictional world, but I will tell you about the first one. Meet the scribe. The scribe is an ancient spirit of the world of Spelanoia. It speaks a dead language that no one else speaks, but it can communicate telepathically when it chooses to. It's also omnipresent within the bounds of Spelanoia cave system, and the scribe's job is to document the history of the world, and it does it in part by using treasures of glass, crystal, precious stones, and other materials of the mountains to create visual depictions of the happenings in Spelanoia, which makes this a self-portrait. I'll leave the rest till next time. Cheers! Follow me for more videos on the process, building the world of an artist, and building the world of Spelanoia. Bye for now!